Microphone sound check. We got 2 bars, a timer, and a red light. We're good. I'm going to discuss Kevin Owens in just a moment with the whole thing with Bash in Berlin and whether or not I think he's going to turn heel, which I don't personally think he will. I mean, I think he might. Whether or not I think he should, from a creative standpoint, is a completely different thing. This is what I love about discussing wrestling. It's not nearly as divisive. Even if you talk about AEW and WWE and what's better, as long as you're respectful and you give some kudos points to the promotions that deserve it, where they deserve it, you're usually fine. But try doing that with politics. Try talking about Gaza or the Russia-Ukraine war or the Biden-Trump-Kamala Harris fiasco or gun control. It's not going to end well. You're going to pick a side and you're going to lose half the people that don't like it. And then you're going to gain the half that side with you. And if you go the other way, you'll gain the half that you lost and lose what you gained. Right? Whereas wrestling, I just find it a lot less divisive. It's really not that big of a deal if I say, well, you know, Cody this, Cody that. But yeah, he did this, he did, but I don't know if he can do this. People aren't going to crucify you in the same fashion, which is why I love making these videos so much more. They're more in good spirit. Like I said, I can handle the nitty-gritty of the political debates, but it's not as enjoyable. Anyhow, let's move on from that. I hope everybody's doing well. It's not just a catchphrase. I really do mean that. Even if you like Joe Biden, I wish you well enough to see the error of your ways. Oh, I had to. It was kind of like I had that snuck in there. It was so sneaky, I didn't even know I was going to pull that rabbit out of a hat. So here's what I think with the whole Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens situation. And I'm going to credit this article, even though I haven't really read it. I kind of skimmed through it really quickly. But it's mainly to give you something to look at aside from just my bald pumpkin head. Pretty boy Rhodes is much more aesthetically pleasing to the eye in that title than staring at this, okay? It also shares Booker T's feelings that Kevin Owens might turn heel against Cody Rhodes. And he's got a point. He absolutely could. Again, whether he should is another. So the reason I don't think he should is really simple. When you look at the history of professional wrestling, to keep it simple, not just the world in general, although we could bring real life situations into the equation if we so want to, people go rogue, aka heel, if you will, sometimes when they feel disrespected, when they feel the crowd turned on them, or that their partner doubted their in-ring abilities or whatever. So you could have the whole Grayson Waller, Austin Theory thing going on, and that brews up a prime example of a good reason to actually kind of go the other way, if you will. Because in this case, Waller's heel, and have Theory go face because he's done being disrespected. He's done being thrown under the bus, right? So that one, it makes complete sense in that scenario. Or when Jimmy Uso crossed Jay for what seemed like really no reason at all. Well, I mean, there was a reason. But anyhow, that one might be a little bit more deep than I can go. When it comes to these two faces, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, where it doesn't make sense at all, is Cody Rhodes has done the opposite to Kevin Owens of what would need to be done to a person, whether you're in wrestling or in the real world, to feel such a level of disdain and disrespect to the point where you want to turn on them. Okay? In my opinion, when you have Cody coming to the aid of Kevin Owens, when you have Cody offering a championship, pleading, no, you're taking this championship, not you don't deserve this. Hey, maybe someday you'll be able to get this. Maybe someday you'll succeed me when I'm ready to retire. Kind of like the whole original Bloodline thing with Roman Reigns, right? See, sometimes I do pretty decent without a script, or do I? Like when I'm recapping Raw, obviously, so I don't forget the matches and what happened. This is just garbage off the top of my head. So in that instance, you could be a little disappointed. Look, I really wasn't planning on being in this situation that you put me in here, Rhodes. But you know what? I appreciate it. Fine, let's go at it. Two buddies, two faces. I mean, they wouldn't say that to each other, but two friends, two buddies, two bros, going at it at Berlin. Bash of the Bros in Berlin. I think it's a great story, and you could still tell that story and remain a face. You don't have to turn to the other side, because we also live in a world, which I've talked about multiple times, where you can see two heel teams going at each other. You could see two faces going at each other, and they still have respect for one another. AOP just wrestled not long ago a heel tag team. I can't even remember who it is, but I remember that they were heel, and it's like, see, it can happen. It can just totally happen, and it's really not that big of a deal. Had this been like 10, 15-ish years ago, or I'd have to look at the calendar a little bit and do a little bit more research, it would have been a little bit more odd, potentially. Wouldn't have been as the norm to have two faces go at it at a PLE event. I almost said PW. What the hell's PWE? Powerful Wrestling Anyways. It would have maybe made more sense. But now, it's the whole, I appreciate you. You don't see the value in yourself. The heels like Grayson Waller and Austin Theory keep trying to bring you down. And then Kevin Owens did that thing on SmackDown, which was actually pretty funny. Yeah, I'm the big loser, so why don't we just go out there and prove them right? Prove them right that I'm the big loser. And then he completely whoops Grayson Waller's ass, right? Because of the sarcasm there. And that's where you can have that and still have it so that it's like an internal struggle within himself, as I struggle to speak properly. Remember, English is not my first language. Just thought I'd throw that out there again. And you can have someone like Cody Rhodes be like, hey man, I see in you what you may not see in yourself. And I want to give you this opportunity. It's simply a short storyline. Doesn't have to be dragged on for several months, kind of like how I drag on all my videos for like 20 plus minutes. It could just be a simple, kind gesture of, I saw what you've been doing for me, Kevin, and I want you to see this gesture, not because I feel I have to, but because I truly just want to. I want to show that appreciation. And what better way of doing that than giving you an opportunity at this? Because you have earned it. All the years, all the sweat, the blood, the tears. You've heard the saying before countless times over the years. You have earned it. And he really has. Right? From a scripted standpoint, he says he doesn't, but okay. So to me, that's the story. It's just a short story within a continuing story of the saga of two friends and how one took a moment out of their schedule and said, you know what? This match is actually going to be about you and me. Doesn't always have to be, oh, now he's going to get obsessed and turn heel and he's going to just become irate. It makes no sense to the person who's been praising him like hell. Again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. This isn't like, don't worry, KO, maybe someday you'll have your turn, or, just kind of like, well, that would be a little bit different. So yes, there are heel turns and face turns that occur that happen organically, and I think they're wonderful. Like in the case of Roman Reigns, sometimes things don't happen organically. They just happen out of nowhere, and there's no backstory to it. There's no logic to be made behind it, and that's my problem with this. I have a huge problem if Kevin Owens goes heel because of this. If Kevin Owens goes heel because of another reason, that's different. This literally makes like the least amount of sense when I look. Don't ask me what this is. I think that was supposed to be under the microscope. When I study this whole situation, there's literally, I want somebody down below in the comment section go, well, actually, if you look at it this way, you think about it for a moment and reflect upon this, you'll see that blah, 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 blah. Oh, I never looked at it that way. I'm looking for that epiphany moment. that would have this make sense. Make it make sense, as that saying goes, is what I want you 3 people that are going to see this video to tell me. Because I honestly really hope it doesn't go this way. WWE under the reigns of Triple H, there is no doubt, has been so much better. I am so grateful. Is it perfect? Is anything perfect? I'm not perfect. You're not nothing's perfect. But it's definitely one step closer to perfection than it was when it was under Vincent Kennedy McMahon. This will, for me, be a big questionable move as to why they would do that, if they're even planning on it. Or maybe they're just having you tease the idea that they're going to do it. Because on SmackDown, remember when Cody... Actually, was he even kind of going for the belt? Oh, I think he was. Yeah. Then Kevin Owens picked it up. He's like, well, he's almost thinking to himself, like, well, this is what you want me to fight for? Yeah, no, it's been a while since I held this. And sure, he never got his rematch clause when he lost his title. Okay. And he handed it, patted him on the shoulder, unlike AJ Styles, right? Just completely turned on him. Then he walked away respectfully. Yeah. Now I'm smiling because I just had a weird vision. But it's not an original vision because everybody's thought of this. In closing, had it been Randy Orton turning on Cody Rhodes out of nowhere, just because of the nature of Randy Orton, that would have just made more sense. He's the snake in the grass, the backstabber. You can't trust him. Whereas Kevin Owens hasn't backstabbed somebody in like over a decade. And I think that was Sami Zayn. And I remember the whole Friends of Jericho and the list and all that. That was a long time ago. Yeah, if anybody close to Rhodes would have... But even then, Randy Orton is older now, and, you know, you've matured. I'm not saying you're immature when you're heel, but the whole, like, just turning on your friends that are good to you, I wouldn't like to see it. But if I was forced at gunpoint, pick Randy or KO to turn on Cody Rhodes, I would pick Randy Orton. It's the lesser of two evils. Let me know down below what you think. Like I said, hopefully I didn't run into... Oh my... How did I talk for 12 minutes about the same thing? I could have covered 6 different news articles here. Let me know what you think. 2 questions. Do you think he's going to turn heel, Kevin Owens? And then the second question is, should he turn heel if they do turn him? Like, is that a good choice? Does that make sense to you? Because I do have a bad feeling that he might go heel. I think it's because everybody keeps talking about it, though. And they're instilling these weird little, like, oh, look what he did there. Look what he's saying there. And it kind of plays with your head. I hope that that's all it is. Just mind games to make you think that, when in the end, nothing bad's going to happen. Randy Orton will come in and RKO the 2 of them. Just kidding. All right. Thumbs up as always if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm and trying to make me a little bit more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up online. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead. Give it a thumbs down. I'll bend it in half. I'll twist it and I'll break off that microphone inside of your ass. That's the RE27ND. It's actually a microphone I was thinking of getting, believe it or not, to replace the Shure SM7B that I have. Yeah. You want to subscribe to the channel? Obviously, that would be pretty fantastic now, wouldn't it? But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and if I'm lucky, maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.